All right, guys, we are live. How's everybody doing? This is Robbie One Kenobi, and I am bringing you my live NXT TakeOver Dallas review. Overall, guys, really enjoyed the show. I thought it was another great show from NXT. Definitely the best show of the weekend, of the WrestleMania weekend so far. Um, I did have some problems with the finish of the show, which I'll get to when I talk about the main event. Nothing too big, but I just feel like the way the show ended was a little anticlimactic. I feel like there was one match that really should have been the main event that would have really closed the show on a very stronger note, if that makes sense. But I'm not bashing this show at all. I thought NXT TakeOver Dallas was a great show from start to finish. So let's get right down to my review. We kicked the show off with the NXT Tag Team Championship match, the Revival defending against American Alpha. Great tag team match, guys. Incredible opener. The crowd was really into this match. American Alpha came out to this wicked pop from the crowd. And like I've said before, Chad Gable, this guy was over and still is over like freaking $1,000,000, you know. He demonstrated his amateur wrestling craft, amateur wrestling wizardry. He's very agile, you know. Like when I look at American Alpha, you have Jason Jordan, he's like the powerhouse, the heavy hitter, so to speak, and then you have Chad Gable, who's very agile. He's able to find his way out of certain situations. Great opening tag match between these guys. You know, Dash and Dawson being themselves, that hard-hitting, old school team, like, you know, reminiscent of Minnesota Wrecking Crew, the Brainbusters. I'm trying to remember key moments in this match. There was this one really sick spot where Jordan and Gable had each member of the Revival in a waist lock, and they went for a German suplex, and Dash and Dawson were trying to grab each other, and Jordan and Gable just hit these two wicked German suplexes. The crowd was actually chanting, "Who is Dash and who is Dawson?" During the match. And on Twitter, I tweeted, "Dash has hair, Dawson is bald. You're welcome," in the style of Damien Sandow. But like I said, great opening match. You had Dash and Dawson, you know, really working on Gable, trying to neutralize him, trying to neutralize Jordan, because they know that Jordan is the king of hot tags. At one point, they went for this double team move that was like a power bomb, and then Dash, I don't know what he was trying to do, if it was like a doomsday device or some kind of clothesline, but they botched that move. And the crowd in Dallas, which was a super red hot crowd from start to finish, they let Dash and Dawson know they botched the move. They even started chanting, excuse me, they even started chanting, what was it they started chanting? Oh, Botchamania, that's what they started chanting. I thought that chant was just hilarious. Towards the end, Gable tries to go for the tag, and Dash crawls from underneath the ring to pull Jordan off of the apron. And then there's this moment where Dash and Dawson have Gable cornered, trying to prevent him from getting the tag. And I think Gable hit a DDT, like he hit a double DDT trying to dive over those two guys. Jason Jordan gets the hot tag. And of course, you know, Jordan, the king of hot tags, he's suplexing guys. He's delivering exploder suplexes, belly to belly suplexes. It's just, you know, hard hitting action all throughout the match. In the end, I believe Gable was charging at Dawson. Dawson backflipped him, but Jordan managed to get a tag. Jordan hit his trademark tackle into the corner. Gable tagged him. They hit that wicked double team backdrop. I think it's called like Super Amplitude or Sweet Amplitude or something for the 1, 2, 3. And American Alpha are your brand new NXT Tag Team Champions. That crowd erupted. I mean, American Alpha got a huge pop when they won the Tag Team Championships. I'm so happy for them. They deserve it. They're an awesome team. They're the hottest team right now on the NXT roster. And I'm just looking forward to seeing what big things they do in the future as tag team champions. Dash and Dawson make great tag team champions for the time that they They held the gold, but now it's American Alpha's time. And like I said, they were ready, willing, and able to take the championships from Dash and Dawson, and they did it. 3 3/4 stars. As always, guys, my match ratings are down below in the description box. Next, we had Austin Aries versus Baron Corbin. And this match, guys, let me put it to you this way, guys, with this match. I thought it was all right. I thought it was decent. I wasn't really into it as much as I thought I would be. Austin Aries, you know, he got offense in the beginning of the match. And then Baron Corbin turned it around when he performed a stun gun, and he like elevated Austin Aries so high up in the air. You know, like Aries took I don't want to say he took a bad bump, but that was a nasty spill the way he landed across the ropes. A majority of the match was, you know, Corbin dominating Austin Aries, and Austin Aries started to make this comeback. And right when they go to the outside, when it looks like Aries is, you know, taking control, he takes this wicked deep 6 on the outside, that, you know, that spinning sidewalk slam. That was just a sick bump. And then Corbin tries to finish Austin Aries off with the end of days, and Austin Aries actually counters it and rolls Baron Corbin up for the 1, 2, 3. There's not really much for me to say about this match, guys, because like I said, it was an alright match. I wasn't into it as much as I thought I would be. I'm happy, like I said, that Austin Aries is in NXT, but I just didn't, you know, I just wasn't really into this match. But really, this is the only bad match, so to speak, on the card. It's not a terrible match. Like I said, it was decent. It was all right. I just wasn't into it like I thought I would be. And I honestly thought they were going to give the win to Baron Corbin, but I said to myself, if they give the win to Austin Aries, I have no problem with it, because this is Austin's debut in NXT, and usually the new signees, when they make their debut at a TakeOver special, or when they debut on NXT TV in general, they usually get the win. So Austin Aries got the win. Like I said, decent match, all right match. I do hope Baron Corbin still keeps getting that push, that top heel push, and eventually becomes NXT champion in the future. But as far as this match goes, you guys, excuse me, 2.5 stars. Nothing special, nothing bad, but just not what I thought it was going to be. And it got off to a good start. You know, it had a faster pace and a harder hitting style than Corbin's match with Apollo Crews at TakeOver London back in December, but it just was not as good as I thought it was going to be. But, you know, minor complaint, doesn't hurt the card overall. The one bad match, so to speak, on the card. After that, guys, we got the match that, in my opinion, should have been the main event. The match that everybody inside that arena was freaking hyped for, that they were pumped for. The match that undoubtedly delivered the match of the night, hands down. The match that undoubtedly delivered the best match on the card, and is undoubtedly the front runner for match of the year. Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura in Nakamura's NXT debut. Guys, this was just an incredible, hard-hitting fight to the finish. I mean, this was the stiffest, hardest hitting match Sami Zayn has ever been in. And the crowd was just, they were heavily invested in this match, heavily into the match from the time that Zayn made his entrance to the time that Nakamura made his entrance. His entrance theme is really freaking sick. It sounds like something you'd hear. One of my friends said this, and I agree with him. It's like the theme you'd hear in a final boss battle in a video game. It just felt epic. I definitely want to buy the theme song when it comes out on iTunes. Wow, just this whole freaking match felt like a WrestleMania caliber main event. I even tweeted it. You know, Nakamura, who's very, very crafty with his feet, his knees. I mean, he was hitting Sami Zayn with knee strikes, wicked kicks, whether it was a front kick, a back kick, a reverse spinning heel kick, whatever. I mean, he was taking the fight to Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn was obliged to fight back against Nakamura. They traded shots. There was this moment toward the end where they were just trading forearm after forearm after forearm. It was just insane, you guys. I mean, I've only seen Nakamura wrestle once, and that was earlier this year against AJ Styles at Wrestle Kingdom 10. That was another incredible match, but man, Nakamura is the real freaking deal. This guy hits hard, and I can only imagine if he was hitting Sami Zayn this hard. Just imagine how freaking hard he'd be hitting Samoa Joe. Just imagine how hard hitting that match would be from beginning to end if it ever happens in NXT or in WWE in general. Great match. I mean, there was a moment where towards the end, Sami Zayn goes for the haluva kick. You know, Nakamura ducks it. Nakamura hits him with this reverse exploder, which just looked freaking sweet. And then Nakamura goes for his running knee. I don't even remember what it's called, but it's that strong style finisher he does with his knee. Zayn ducked it. Zayn hit the blue thunder bomb. I honestly thought he had him there. Nakamura kicked out. That crowd was just really, I mean, that crowd was on the edge of their seat. And the one thing I was concerned about was that match was going to ultimately drain out the crowd. And that crowd was just heavily invested into it. They were chanting, "This is awesome." They were chanting, "This is awesome." They were chanting, "King of Strong Style." They were chanting, "This is wrestling." They were chanting, I think they were dueling chants, you know, Nakamura, Sami Zayn. Just an incredible match, you guys. And for Sami Zayn's very last match in NXT, he went out with a true bang. Just to go out there and embody why he's been the heart and soul of NXT for all these years, going up against a guy the caliber of Nakamura was just a testament to the great performer Sami Zayn is. In the end, Nakamura hit his finisher. I don't even remember what it's called. If any of my 3 viewers out there remember the name of the finisher, please leave a comment either in the chat box or in the comment section, depending on when you're watching this video. But Nakamura hit his trademark knee for the 1-2-3, and Shinsuke Nakamura defeats Sami Zayn in an instant classic, front runner for match of the year. Just an incredible match, you guys. Some people most likely gave this 4 3/4 stars. The Bomaye. Thank you to 015 Froggy, the Bomaye. That is Shinsuke Nakamura's finishing move, that knee strike. So with the Bomaye, Shinsuke Nakamura successfully debuts in NXT and defeats Sami Zayn in, like I said, an instant classic. People probably gave this 4 1/4 stars, 5 stars. I really couldn't give it 4 3/4 stars, only because I did have some issues with my live stream, but they were nowhere near as bad as the issues I had with the freaking live stream during Roadblock. So I missed portions of the match were skipped over, or the stream would skip in advance, and I'd miss a small portion of the match. But overall, guys, I just enjoyed this match. I really loved the ending, just the back and forth action, and these guys just really. Nakamura, I think he hit Zayn in the back of the head with a knee at one point, and it was just a testament to this incredible performer that Nakamura is. He's the king of strong style for a reason. It's not just, you know, a moniker. He's the king of strong style for a reason. And I gotta definitely go back and watch this match. The crowd was freaking into it. I loved it. Definitely match of the night, and definitely match of the WrestleMania weekend so far. 4 1/4 stars. And all I have to say is thank you, Sami Zayn, for all your contributions. Thank you, Sami Zayn, for all your contributions to NXT. True warrior, true gladiator, whatever else I can say. Thank you for the great matches. Thank you for the great moments. And you definitely deserve the hero send-off that you got. And you put on an incredible match against Nakamura. Thank you, Sami. And best of luck to you Sunday night at WrestleMania, because, as we all know, Sami Zayn's his weekend's not done. He has the ladder match against Kevin Owens and the other 5 opponents for the Intercontinental Championship. So he still has a long Sunday ahead of him. He's not done yet, but this is going to be an emotional and incredible weekend for Sami Zayn. But like I was saying, guys, this match, in my opinion, should have been the main event, and I'll explain why when I get to the actual main event, which was obviously Finn Bálor versus Samoa Joe. But incredible match between Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura, 4.25 stars. And yeah, man, I don't know what else to say. I mean, you just have to see this match to believe it. I loved it. I'm quickly becoming a big fan of Nakamura's. 2 incredible matches he had, match of the year caliber, you know, against AJ and now against not Nakamura. He is Nakamura, against Sami Zayn. Definite match of the year, front runner, undoubtedly. 4.25 stars. Shinsuke Nakamura, Sami Zayn. I can't praise it enough. If you haven't seen it, guys, go back and watch that match. Next, we had the second third of the triple main event, the NXT Women's Championship match. Bayley defending against Asuka. In my opinion, guys, this was the female equivalent to Zayn and Nakamura. Not only because this was another physical, hard-hitting match, but in the sense that you had another beloved performer on NXT, Bayley, who you could say was also the heart and soul of NXT for the women's division, going up against the lethal striker herself, Asuka, a renowned, you know, women's wrestler who also did her thing with strong style. Just a great match, guys. Another great women's wrestling match. Definitely, well, I wouldn't say definitely second best match of the night. I think the second best match of the night definitely had to go to the NXT title match between Bálor and Joe, which I'll get to. But another great women's wrestling match. Bayley and Asuka moving along with the moving forward with the Divas Revolution. It's a great match, guys. Hard hitting from start to finish. You know, you had early on in the beginning, it was a stalemate because these two knew, not saying they had wrestled each other before, but they knew what their opponent brought to the table. They knew their opponent's strengths early on, their signature moves. They were ready to counter one another. You know, early on, you had Asuka lock Bayley in the ankle lock. Bayley managed to get out of that. Later on in the match, Bayley countered, I think, one of Asuka's kicks and turned it into a knee bar, which she then transitioned into an ankle lock. Awesome spot. This was what I expected. You know, this was a very hard-hitting match for Bayley. This was undoubtedly the most threatening challenge she had ever faced. This was the most dangerous challenge she had ever faced as NXT Women's Champion. Just an incredible, another, and I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record saying this was an incredible match, that was an incredible match. This show just delivered, with the exception of Aries and Baron Corbin, it just delivered one awesome match after the other. So with Bayley and Asuka, you know, I love the storytelling where Bayley was working on both of Asuka's legs. She was trying to wear down and damage Asuka's legs. And that's brilliant storytelling right there. Oh my God, storytelling. Because Bayley knows Asuka's legs are deadly. If she hit Bayley with one of those wicked spinning roundhouse kicks or spinning heel kicks, Bayley's done. So, you know, Bayley does a great job working on Asuka's legs. She gets her in the ankle lock like I was talking about. Asuka manages to get out. She gets Bayley in that like flying armbar move. They went at it back and forth, back and forth. I don't think these matches were better than the matches that Bayley had with Sasha. You know, the Brooklyn Classic and the Iron Woman match. But still, this was another great match. Another great testament to Bayley as a beloved performer on NXT. Another great women's wrestler. I loved it. I thought this match was great. In the end, towards the end, Bayley goes for Bayley to belly. Asuka goes for the Asuka lock. Bayley counters the first time, and then Asuka goes for it again and manages to cinch it in. And she cinches it in tight. She cinches it in really tight. So you have Bayley, who is in the Asuka lock. I believe this was the first time around. Bayley was close to the ropes. Her feet were close to the ropes, so she could have easily put her feet on the ropes to break the hold. Asuka gets her in the Asuka lock again. This time, she's a little farther away from the ropes. She's not necessarily in the middle of the ropes, but Bayley is a few feet away from the ropes. She's in the corner a few feet away from the ropes. Bayley cannot fight out of it. You know, Bayley is struggling. She really does not have like much offense when in the Asuka lock. And Asuka just has that submission hold cinched in. You know, Bayley tried to fight. She tried to be resilient. But in the end, the referee takes a good look at Bayley. The referee raises Bayley's hand. It drops limp. And Asuka chokes Bayley out. I kid you not. I was shocked, but like shocked in the sense of, wow, like just what an ending. It was a little anticlimactic. Well, I was honestly expecting the match to end a little more climactically, but the fact that Bayley got choked out by Asuka, wow. And that crowd was a little stunned silent, actually. I think this was the equivalent to when the streak was broken at WrestleMania 30. And I think Asuka got a mixed reaction from the crowd because it was 50-50 in the chants. There were Bayley fans and there were Asuka fans. And Asuka got a little bit of a mixed reaction when she won. And I don't know if the crowd was booing. Like, I believe the crowd was booing her, but I don't know if how she won the championship makes her a heel, because like she didn't do anything heelish, but the way she walked off with the championship, and then she looked back at Bayley. She didn't give her that grin of death, but she just looked back at Bayley as if to say, yeah, I'm the new champion. I'm the future of women's wrestling. Like, I took your title, you know. And Bayley looked, you know, a little heartbroken. That was a tough loss when you look at it for Bayley. But in the end, Asuka is your brand new NXT Women's Champion. Bayley had an incredible run as champion, like I said in my predictions video. But in the end, she fell to just a better athlete, a better competitor in Asuka. Asuka had her number. And Asuka has made history as the fastest rising NXT Women's Champion. You know, the competitor who had the fastest rise to the NXT Women's Championship. So kudos to Asuka for actually choking Bayley out to win the NXT Women's Championship. Great performance from Asuka. She came in to fight. She came in to win, and she did it. And kudos again to Bayley. Once again, embodying what the Divas Revolution is all about, embodying what a strong NXT Women's Champion is all about, and embodying why women's wrestling is alive and well in NXT. You know, like I said, not better than Bayley's encounters with Sasha, but still another great women's wrestling match. I thought the ending was going to be a little more climactic, but the fact that Bayley got choked out makes up for it because, like I said, guys, Bayley got choked out. It wasn't like Asuka knocked her out with a kick. Asuka made her pass out. She choked her out. But, you know, again, kudos to Asuka and to Bayley for another great women's wrestling match. The women's division in NXT continues to flourish. And now, guys, with Asuka as the champion, I would definitely love to see a rematch between these two. I heard that the next NXT TakeOver special will be, get this, NXT TakeOver Tokyo. NXT TakeOver Japan, guys. How awesome would it be to see the rematch between Bayley and Asuka in Asuka's home country, her birthplace of Japan? That would be insane. I think what they could do with this is, like I was saying in my predictions video, they could make this rivalry like The Undertaker and Batista in 2007. Asuka beat Bayley. Bayley asks for a rematch. They do it again. Either Asuka wins, like beats her in a closer, in an even closer contested battle, or it ends in a double countout or something. Like there's a special stipulation to it where neither of them look weak. So then they go to another match, which ultimately, you know, culminates at NXT TakeOver Tokyo. A battle between Asuka and Bayley, like a 30-minute Iron Woman match in Tokyo, would be a great way for Bayley to get sent off to the main roster. Because with what happened, the way it happened, I don't know if they're going to send Bayley to the main roster. And I personally, you know, she has her reservations about going up to the main roster. So if she's not ready, do Asuka and Bayley, you know, have them do a rivalry, you know. have them do a couple more matches, and then I think the culmination of their feud could be at Tokyo in a 30-minute Iron Woman match where Asuka beats Bayley once more, and just, Bayley realizes that Asuka's the one person that has her number. She just can't beat Asuka. And it'll be very similar to Nakamura and Zayn, And, you'll have the respect between Bayley and Asuka. And I forgot to mention this, Nakamura extended his hand to Sami Zayn at the end of their match. Zayn accepted it. They hugged one another. Zayn looked pretty emotional when he hugged Nakamura. And then Nakamura left. And, of course, Sami got the thank you Sami chants. He got to walk off into the sunset. He waved goodbye to the NXT universe. They gave him that hero's farewell, that hero's send-off. And that's the way I could see it happening in NXT, at NXT TakeOver Tokyo. If that's what they want to go with, I think they should go with it. That'd be a great way to send Bayley off to the main roster. After that, I mean, win or lose, Bayley's proven herself to be a true champion. And, Asuka may be the only one that has her number. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if they're going to turn Asuka heel, because she sort of turned heel in a sense with the way she beat Bayley and how she, left the ring afterwards. But it was just a great women's wrestling match. And this match and Bálor and Joe had a lot to follow and a lot to live up to following the classic between Nakamura and Zayn. Speaking of Bálor and Joe, let's get right down to it. That was the main event for the NXT Championship. This match right here, guys, I don't think it was better than the TakeOver London match. I don't know if it was because we've already seen these two face off for the NXT Championship, so it didn't have as much, significance or meaning like the previous meeting did. I still thought it was a great match, and this was yet another hard-hitting match. The three main events, the triple main event of NXT TakeOver Dallas was just physical and hard-hitting. All three of those matches from start to finish. This match, there was blood in the first 30 seconds of this match. I kid you not. They exchanged strikes, and a few seconds in, Joe headbutts Bálor, and Joe has this streak of blood coming down his right eye. And throughout the match, the referees, because of the whole no blood thing, the referees had to call time to the match. They had to call a halt to the match to try and stop the blood from Joe's to stop the blood from flowing from Joe's right eye. And the fans inside the arena, those Dallas fans were pissed. They were pissed to the point where they were chanting, "Let Joe bleed," "No, PG sucks," and they even went as far as chanting, "Fuck PG." And I know I don't use a lot of profanity on my channel, but that was a chant that I had to get out there, because they were chanting "fuck PG" because they hated the fact that the blood kept preventing these guys from having their match. And I think the fans inside the arena, I forgot what it's called, the K. Bailey Hutchison Center, I believe it's called, where Access is being held to, I believe. Yeah, those fans were pissed. They were afraid that that match might end due to the blood, that the blood might call for a stoppage. I personally didn't have a problem with how many times they kept trying to stop the blood from flowing from Joe's cut, but I feel like the blood made Joe an even more dangerous and vicious opponent inside that ring. He was just taking it to Bálor, he was just unleashing. I feel like the blood unleashed the shark, so to speak. Like, how a shark smells blood? Well, I feel like Joe was his own kind of shark that smelled his own blood, and that just made him go ballistic on Finn Bálor. And speaking of Finn Bálor, this guy, he always delivers when it comes to his demon entrances. So how does he top last time when he was Finn the Ripper in London? He comes out with a freaking chainsaw like it's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And you have to believe he got that from Dean Ambrose. Like, Dean Ambrose said, "Hey, I'll let you borrow this for the entrance only, because I got to use that to cut down Brock." But Finn Bálor, dressed like freaking Leatherface with that chainsaw. This guy is an enigma, hands down. And I can only imagine what he's going to do the next time he brings out the demon, which may be in Tokyo. And you know how much they love Bálor in Japan. But getting back to the match. Oh, and Joe wasn't even sweating Bálor when he saw Bálor come down to the ring with that chainsaw. That's why Samoa Joe's such a badass, you guys. Samoa Joe's freaking awesome. So like I was saying, getting back to the match, very physical match, very hard-hitting match. And the blood made it feel, I feel like really got the crowd pumped. Like it made them hungry for more, if that makes sense. You know, you had Joe doing his thing, hitting Bálor with a clothesline in the corner, and then bang, that jumping, you know, I don't want to say it's a jumping Pele kick, but that jumping Inzugiri heel kick, whatever you want to call it. Man, these guys just once again dished out the punishment. You had Samoa Joe with a diving plancha through the middle ropes, driving Bálor into the barricade. And I can't forget this, because this was one of the most insane moments I saw in that match. You have Joe throw Bálor over the barricade onto one of the security guys, and that was like after Bálor had gotten, or after Joe had gotten busted open. I don't know. There was something about this that made this fight feel like a shoot. I don't know if it was because of the blood, but that crowd was just pissed off, and they were getting frustrated every time the doctors had to stop the match to try and, you know, stop the blood from flowing from Joe's cut. I wasn't bothered by it because that's what they do, but the PG sucks chants and the let Joe bleed chants and the let them fight chants and that other chant that I brought up, man, that made that match even more special. So towards the end, you have both these guys getting back up, and then Bálor unleashes this like demon cry, which was insane, and Joe has this look of like not fear, but this look on his face like he can't believe what he's seeing. And then they go at it. You know, Joe hit that traditional STO slam, that trademark STO slam, and hits from the corner. I love when he does that that splash, that senton splash. He did a move that I remember him doing this move in the London match. He powerbombed Bálor and then turned him over into a Boston Crab, and he got him into the crossface. I feel like I don't want to say it was a repeat of the rematch from London. This match was still great, but like I said, I feel like the London rematch was, or the London match was better, because I feel like it had more of a luster to it, if that makes sense. But anyway, getting to the end of the match, guys, Bálor goes for the coup de grace. Joe nearly knocks him out with one of those jumping Inzugiris, drills him with the muscle buster. Bálor kicks out. Joe then goes for, or I believe Bálor hits him with the sling blade, hits the drop kick, hits the coup de grace, or no, he goes for Bloody Sunday. Joe counters it into the coquina clutch. Bálor uses his feet to launch himself off the turnbuckle, roll through, pin Joe, so pin Joe's shoulders down, and score the 1-2-3 to retain the NXT Championship. If you guys want a better picture of how Bálor beat Joe, just think of how Bret Hart beat Stone Cold Steve Austin at Survivor Series 1996. That finish has been used before in wrestling, and it's used every once in a while. So it wasn't a bad finish, but I was just shocked that Joe lost, because they built him up as this monster heel, and then, you know, you get this feeling that he's going to slay the demon once and for all, and then he loses the way he did. Not saying it was a bad finish, but it was just, you know, this Bálor once again survived the war with Joe, but the war they had at London was a lot closer than this war. You know, it had a lot more near falls, and, you know, you had this sense that Joe was going to actually slay the demon the first time around. So, like I said, guys, I thought the match was great, but I just wasn't a fan of post-match. I honestly didn't expect Bálor to retain, because I thought Joe was winning the belt for sure. And then post-match, you know, Joe leaves the ring with this I don't want to say dumbfounded, but with this like kind of shocked look on his face. And Bálor, of course, is, you know, celebrating his victory. He's trying to recuperate and everything. And Joe just walks off. Like, Joe turns around and he stares Bálor, stares down Bálor, and Bálor stares down him from inside the ring. And that's how the show ends. You know, I thought Joe, if you wanted to keep Joe as a monster heel, I would have had him just beat the hell out of Bálor. And then if the Bálor Club or Bulletproof, whatever they're called, if they were going to debut, then that's the perfect time to have them debut. That's my only complaint with the main event, guys. I just didn't like the post-match. I mean, you built Samoa Joe up like this monster heel, and then he just walks off like that. Like that's the whole reason why I thought Zayn and Nakamura should have been the main event. You would have ended the show on a much brighter note, on a much higher note, and it would have been an emotional note because that was obviously Sami Zayn's send-off. You would have had Nakamura and Zayn, embrace one another. Nakamura would have left the ring. Sami would have taken in the "Thank you, Sami" chants and the "Ole, ole, ole." That's how you could have ended the show. And you could have had Corey Graves and Tom Phillips, just say, "Thank you, Sami Zayn, for being the heart and soul of NXT. Thank you, Sami, for helping to make NXT what it is. Like, we will never forget you." They could have done it like that. I said in my predictions video that any of the triple main event was a main event caliber match. I just thought that with Joe winning, I thought with this match as the main event, Joe would have won. Joe could have choked Bálor out like Asuka choked Bayley out, and then that's how you end the match. And that's how you end the show, with Joe standing over Bálor with the NXT Championship held high. That's my only major complaint about the show. Other than that, guys, I loved the show from start to finish. Another great show from NXT. I know I said that this had the potential to top Brooklyn. I don't know if it topped Brooklyn, to be honest. I mean, the crowd was just incredible. The atmosphere was incredible. It's kind of hard for me to decide if I think this one is slightly better than TakeOver Brooklyn, because they're both incredible shows in their own right. But like I said, guys, great show from start to finish. NXT delivers again. Awesome show with an incredible classic between Nakamura and Zayn. I'm giving this show an 8.5 out of 10. I did get some comments in the chat, so I'm going to look at those real quick. Daniel Giza, how you doing? Daniel Giza, excuse me, I mispronounced his name. Sorry about that, Daniel. He says, great show. I totally agree with you, my friend. Great show. Daniel also said he had a laggy stream tonight. It kept freezing at times. Yeah, I feel like WWE needs to stabilize their stream. They need to do a better job stabilizing it in the future. Mildly Moderate Red, my good friend Jack, said it took 2 seconds for Nakamura to become the most charismatic superstar in the company. Oh, yeah, man. When the lights went out and his music hit, he was already freaking over in NXT, and he was undoubtedly he undoubtedly became the most charismatic guy on that roster. And last comment from my good friend Gio, awesome Gio L. Good show. Oh, more than a good show, Gio. Great show. Loved it from start to finish. NXT once again delivers. Now we wait and see if the WWE can top the show, or if they can be just as great as NXT was with WrestleMania. So we'll see what happens. But that's it, guys. I honestly didn't think I was going to be coming on this late to make this live review. But as always, like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you thought of these matches. And do you see Samoa Joe getting called up to the main roster now? With him losing twice to Bálor, is this the sign that Joe's getting called up to the main roster? And what about Bayley? Do you think she's getting called up to the main roster after WrestleMania? Or would you guys prefer to see her in a lengthy feud with Asuka? Because there are a couple things they can do with Asuka and Bayley. I feel like Asuka sort of turned heel tonight with the win. Like I was rooting for Asuka. Don't get me wrong. I felt a little bad for Bayley. She got choked out and she had a heartbreaking loss like that. But now I just wonder, are they turning Asuka heel? Asuka, I mean, she's over with the crowd, of course, but the crowd was, I want to say maybe 70-30 Bayley or 60-40 Bayley. We'll see. I said if Bayley won, you shouldn't turn Asuka heel, but maybe they're going to turn Asuka heel. If they turn her heel as the champion, I probably wouldn't have a problem with it, just because of her actions post-match. But I got one more comment from my boy Daniel. He says, Bayley, Joe, and Enzo and Big Cass I can see being called down to the main roster on Raw this Monday. Definitely could see Enzo and Cass, since I don't see them knocking off American Alpha for the tag titles. Joe, I could see. Bayley, I don't know. Maybe I want Bayley to stay on the NXT roster to keep the feud going with Asuka. Because I feel like, who's Asuka really going to feud with over the NXT Women's Championship other than Emma? I mean, Dana Brooke's injured, but Asuka and Emma, I think, could have a good feud for the championship. But I think to solidify Asuka as the women's champion in NXT and the future of women's wrestling on NXT and in WWE in general, I think the best way to do it is to have her beat the torchbearer, so to speak, in flag bearer in Bayley. So yeah, guys, I think I'm gonna pretty much end. Oh, wait, I was about to end my review, but Daniel sent me another comment. Worried Vince won't know how to book Bayley the right way. You know what? I totally agree. I'm afraid they would mess up with Bayley. They would not book her right. I mean, I'm afraid they take away the wacky, waveable, inflatable tube men. I don't even know how to say that word. That's a tongue twister in itself. Yeah, I'm afraid they take that away. It's just a damn shame that when the NXT stars get called to the main roster, they're not booked the same way. You know, I just hate the booking on the main roster for certain NXT talent. I could make an entire video about that. Molly Moderate Red 29 says, I'm so happy they let Nakamura be himself. Oh, definitely, man. Like, I'm afraid that if they bring Nakamura to the main roster, they would water him down. I mean, the way he was hitting Sami Zayn with those knees, those kicks, that is Nakamura. He's called the King of Strong Style for a reason. I said that's not a moniker. He hits hard. And if he was to fight Samoa Joe, that would be a hard-hitting match. I mean, it would be one of those hard-hitting matches where you feel every blow and you're not even in the match. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Jack, I definitely agree, man. I'm happy they let Nakamura, and they being NXT, let Nakamura be himself. Because you water Nakamura down, you're taking away from the novelty and from the grandeur that is Shinsuke Nakamura. And Nakamura just had his new King of Strong Style shirts released on a WWE shop, and they're nice. They went with a red color for the shirts, which I didn't expect, but they're nice looking shirts. And then American Alpha also has their new shirts that just came out, and they're nice. I was just expecting a little more from them. I don't think they're as bad as they look, but I was just expecting a little more from the shirts. All right, so I think I'm just going to open it up to any more comments from any of my viewers, subscribers, whatever, before I close the show. I'm sorry if I sort of rambled, guys, and I kept saying the same thing. I really don't remember certain portions of certain matches. This is an impromptu review, you know what I'm saying? So, but I love doing these. I definitely had to come on here and review NXT TakeOver Dallas. I think it's a great show, but I think what a lot of people are going to mainly remember this show for was Zayn and Nakamura. That's going to be the match that people talk about for quite a while. So yeah, any more comments? Any more questions? Any more comments or questions? I'll leave it open for 2 more minutes. Minute and a half, maybe. Daniel Geyser says, another good thing about NXT is how the overall show presentation, like lighting, etc. Yeah, not flashy and bright like Raw. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you look at like Brooklyn and you look at this show, their stage is simple but colorful and effective, and that embodies what NXT is all about, you know. They're here to be the best. They're here to deliver the best in terms of their product and their talent. And they're not as flashy, like Monday Night Raw or SmackDown with those, you know, those Titantron sets, you know. Yeah, I definitely agree with your comment, Daniel. I don't know. I feel like even though it wasn't a flashy set or anything, I feel like the Brooklyn set was the best. I don't know. There's just something about Brooklyn that made it an amazing show. And like I said, I haven't really decided if I think Dallas was a better show than TakeOver, because I'm not only considering the quality of the show, the matches, and the presentation, but I'm also thinking about the atmosphere. I mean, which crowd was a better crowd, Brooklyn or Dallas? So, like I said, guys, I'm giving the show an 8.5 out of 10. Daniel, if you have any more comments or questions, let me know. If not, I will call it a night with my review, but I'm going to leave it open for another minute. Catch my breath real quick. I really, really wish I could have been there live in Dallas to see TakeOver and Nakamura versus Zayn. Just be a part of that atmosphere. That would have been awesome. I think actually, guys, I'm gonna call it a night with this review. I'm gonna end it right here. Oh, wait, Daniel, once more. He keeps catching me with these comments before I sign off. Brooklyn crowd, I give the slight edge being there in person. It was loud as hell. Yeah, they sounded loud as hell, especially when Bayley won the championship. If you listen to the pop Bayley got when she won the NXT Women's Championship, that was an incredible crowd. So yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll leave it up for debate, guys. Was Brooklyn the better show or Dallas? Both were incredible shows. And yeah, I know I gave one show a higher score than the other. I gave Dallas a higher score than Brooklyn, but I don't deny that Brooklyn was an incredible show. So just calling it like I see it. All right. I'm going to end the review right here, guys. Thank you all for watching and listening as always. Like, comment, subscribe. Leave your comments down below, your match ratings, your show ratings, etc. Tell me what you think. What do you think is going to happen with Samoa Joe? What do you think is going to happen with Bayley? Should Asuka turn heel based on the events of tonight? And are you ready, willing, and able to see American Alpha take the tag team division by storm as champions? All right, guys. I'm going to call it a night. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. This is Robbie Kenobi signing out. Peace.